Hey, and welcome back to Key and Craig's Crazy Craft Corner. We're going to start getting ready for Halloween by making some packing tape ghosts. So hang in there.
Yeah.
We're going to get started on that. So for packing tape ghost, what you're going to need, obviously, is packing tape. Lots of packing tape. You're going to need a styrofoam...
Bulk buy packing tape.
Yes, bulk buy packing tape. You're going to need a styrofoam head or something equivalent.
Watermelon? Cantaloupe?
That'd be a really big head.
Cantaloupe?
Sure.
No, one of the little baby watermelons.
I know what a cantaloupe is.
But like a baby watermelon. Not a big one, like a baby watermelon.
Right, sure.
Yeah, that would work.
If you want to wrap a watermelon.
Why not? I mean, if you don't got a styrofoam head.
Although, what I'm about to show you may knock out the watermelon.
Oh, okay.
Because your styrofoam head that you're using, you're going to have to cut a slit in it in the back. So that
Let's get some watermelon ready for eating then.
when you're done wrapping, you can cut. We'll get to that in a second.
Or eat the watermelon.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. You're going to need a tape gun. If you don't have one, these make it much easier. And
scissors?
Oh my God. Let me talk.
Oh, I just was wondering if we needed scissors or not.
Says the guy that says, I'm just going to sit here quiet because I don't know what I'm doing. You do. So, we're going to need some scissors.
No, I'm just that good. We're going to need scissors.
You're going to need, these are like the plastic drop cloths, like painter's drop cloths, the really thin plastic cheapy ones. Like, although not really that cheap. They're more expensive than you would think they are, but they go really long way. And then you're going to need something to use as your body form that you're going to form around. Now, I've used just this sewing dummy in the past to make the female ghost. You can also use, obviously, a male form if you want.
Mannequin.
Yeah, mannequin.
Do not need the arms.
No, you don't need arms for what we're doing.
Or legs, obviously.
And I have one here that I've done that's probably 5 or 6 years old at this point. So these things hold up incredibly well because this is outside in California in the sun for at least a month every year, hanging from a palm tree. And you can pack it up, and when you're done, when it's time next year again, you just unfurl it. I'm not going to unfurl the whole thing right now, but basically, she's got more clothing inside of her.
It's like different layers of your ghostly...
Yeah.
Is that clothes or just a ghostly...
It's her dress.
Apparition.
Yeah, I need to be taller to unfurl it completely. But you can kind of get an idea
I see.
of what it looks like. There's her dress, her veil. Arms, like we said, are not necessary. Her face. Now, she's a little worse for wear just in the fact that she's a little dirty and discolored. I really need to clean her.
But it's on a tree, and it's at night.
And it's in the air. And again, this is probably 5 or 6 years of being used outside, and I haven't had to do anything to it. That's how sturdy these things are. And when you hang these in a tree and the wind catches them, and you have, like we do, a black light aimed at them, so they glow. That's cool. They're so fabulous. They look so great up in there. I mean,
I was going to ask, can you put lights inside of them?
You can.
Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, it doesn't look right because you can see the light no matter what you do.
It's not like diffuse.
Right. It doesn't just make it glow. Okay. It makes it look like I've got a red light shot up her skirt. So that's basically what it looks like. So, but hanging them in the trees and shining a black light at them really, really makes them pop.
Okay.
So this is what we're going to make. Okay. So let's get to that then.
Okay.
I can't wait to wrap you in plastic.
Let's do the head first. Let's start with the head first.
Aww.
All right, we're going to get started on the head.
I'm going to do the head, and Craig is going to start on the top hat. And so basically what he's already done is wrapped it in the plastic, and you don't really need to do anything special with it. Just wrap it any old way you can. It doesn't really matter. It's like, again, like I said, just really there to keep it from sticking. And some of it you're going to leave, some of it you're going to cut out anyways, so it doesn't really matter. When you're doing the head of the packing tape ghost, I found that the easiest thing to do is to just do some small pieces to start to kind of mold the shape that you want. So you'll wrinkle that under there, and that way you can kind of get your shape going ahead of time. Just put a couple of pieces of tape in place for your main shape first, and then go back and do all of your layering with your longer pieces of tape. And I think that works best for giving you more details and to getting the shape a little bit more correct.
Otherwise you won't get those depressions for the eye sockets.
Yeah, basically. Another thing to be careful with is you need to press your tape down as you're doing this, so don't just stick it on there and go. You need to actually kind of smooth it with your hands, make sure that you're getting a good bond between each tape layer.
A James Bond?
James Bond. And then the other thing you have to kind of look for is, especially when you're doing something like the head, not so much on this because it's a pretty straightforward shape, but you got to make sure that you cover all of the plastic areas with tape. So sometimes you may find that you're doing this and then suddenly you realize, oh, there's a little section here that didn't actually get tape on it. Well, if it doesn't have the tape on it, this is going to pull out, then you're going to have an opening there. So you really want to make sure that you've gone through and kind of checked to make sure that all your areas are covered as well.
Probably less structurally integral as well.
Yeah, probably. Whatever that means.
It means it'll collapse.
Yes. So for the rim of the hat, what we're going to do is, I've kind of tried a couple different things that didn't work. We're going to just make a flat piece, like a flat square piece. Put the top hat, cut it out, cut the rim the shape we want it, and then just tape it on the inside all the way around. And that'll be the rim.
Multiple layers, like probably 4 or 5 layers to make it stiff enough to stand out on its own. And then, like she said, tape it to the inside, and then little pieces going from the rim up to get it to stick.
Yeah. And so on this head now, I've got it pretty well wrapped, I think. I'll know a little bit better once I take it off of the form. But what I'm going to do is just take a utility knife, or whatever this is. This is a utility knife?
That would be a utility knife.
Okay. And I'm going to start about there, about the top of the head.
This is where the watermelon would be good.
And I'm going to do what you shouldn't do, cut towards myself, because that's just how I roll.
That seems kind of dull.
Huh? Is it dull?
Dull knife? Yeah, we've been
No,
using
it's going halfway through the head.
Oh, okay. It looked like it was hard to pull because we've been using it for a lot of stuff.
No, it's
Careful.
not at all. All right. So that's why I said you will need a head that you can cut a groove in. I had another one that actually had a groove in it already, but I couldn't find it. So I'm starting a new packing tape head. And you just kind of peel it off of here.
A little bit farther, maybe?
No, I think it'll go.
The bottom.
Yeah, I just need to pull from the bottom. I think it'll go. There you go.
Nice.
So I've pulled that off of there. Then you just kind of go back, reshape it as best you can. So yeah, it's actually fairly thick enough. I may have been able to do a little bit more in some places. I don't like the look of this in the head, so usually what I do is I will come through and you'll see where there's places that you can pull out the extra. If you want, you can pull it all the way off from the tape, but I just like to pull out the extra pieces that are in there. And then I'm going to trim this with the scissors. So I'm just trimming this bottom part here. All the way around. Trimming out any extra pieces of plastic that happen to be in the way, like that. So when I attach this to the body, I'll probably cut this rim off as well so that it'll fit over the body part. Or you can tuck it inside.
No, or you're talking about what I was going to say. Cut the little things, little flanges.
Yeah.
So that will flap over the outside, and then have a nice spot to tape it down.
And now you may see some spots on the round areas, like on this one, where the tape it's kind of at a funky angle, and so it's not sticking flat. So just put a little slit in it in those areas, and then push it flat. It's easier to put your hand inside and obviously reshape everything the way you want it. And then what I'm going to do is...
I think I need to make one for my balcony now.
Yeah. So like here's another spot right here where the tape needs to be pushed down a little. You can have one of the ones I have already if you want, if we're going to make new ones.
I want an old one. I want a new one.
Yeah. Well, your balcony's short too, so these are probably way too tall for it. Okay, so when I do this by myself, I put one hand in here and do this, but since Craig is here to help, I'm going to have Craig put his hand inside to give it some support. And then I'm just going to take, usually the way I do it is I do it across here first, push it in just to kind of, you're basically sewing her head back up is what you're doing.
This is a guy.
His head back up.
A dude.
Your gender neutral ghost.
Okay, the lead of the dance. How about that?
Yeah, sure.
Because anybody can be a lead.
All right, and so I'm going to have him keep his hand in there. Well, I'm going to do this way.
Oh, gotcha.
So you just kind of go down the seam and then push it. Is your hand in there? Good. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just kind of push it. You have to have resistance, so you need to have somebody's hand in there or something in there to give it a little resistance. And now I'm going to go over that a couple of times just because I'm weird that way. And I want to make sure that it's really, really secured back on there.
Give a little slip cut right there. And same thing on the other side. Okay. Curve of the neck was not sitting flat.
Just a couple more pieces. A couple more lobotomy pieces across the back. It reminds me a lot of the old black and white movies when the girl was getting a facelift or whatever, and she'd have that piece of fabric under her neck. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like Sunset Boulevard, some of those movies, where she's got a thing up across her face and tied on her head. That's kind of what this reminds me of when I'm doing this, like under the chin and stuff, because you're taking your piece of tape and like lifting her, giving her a nice chin lift there. So that's pretty much the head is done.
Cool.
I've done a couple of different thicknesses on top.
Push those down.
Even though we're going to have the top hat on this one, I still kind of wanted to reinforce this head a little in case the top hat situation doesn't work, and we may want to run something through the top hat down into the head as well to keep it up.
In which case you can also put the little piece of plastic in there too.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give it a little bit more extra thickness there. Now once you've taken this off the mold, if you decide that it feels too flimsy, it's not thick enough, whatever, you can just continue to add as much tape to it as you want. Just keep pressing it down, make sure it's all pressed down really good. And there you go. That's a pretty good looking ghost head. And like I said, once this is hit with a black light, because of the white, it's a pretty amazing effect. So there's that,
Cool.
and then we're gonna try. And
I'm gonna finish
up on
yeah.
the
I gotta
other
make
thing.
my big flat piece to get it all taped up and make the brim.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna do this. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna get rid of this stuff because it's extra and you don't need it. It'll get in the way and it'll cause you problems later on down the road.
Oh my God, you sounded just like me.
I know, didn't I?
It's like listening in a mirror. Is that a thing?
No, not really, but it is now, I guess. Listening in a mirror, because if you don't say anything, could you hear anything?
I don't know, if a mirror breaks and no one's in the room to hear it. Did it make a sound? Is it still 7 years bad luck?
That's true, yeah. Well, who broke it?
These are all philosophy questions that are meant for people much smarter than us.
Philosophy while crafting with Craig and Key.
Yes.
Okay, so what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to do this. I was going to put this like that, but I'm going to cut it
Yeah.
a little bit. Oh, so I'm just going to, I can
Yeah, I
actually
wouldn't
do it
on
like
there.
this.
I would do it.
So I'm going to do it like this. I hope you don't care. That this
I was
is
going to
be
say,
cut.
I guess I don't need that lid for anything.
It's got stuff all over it. So I'm just,
What did it mean?
what? I'm cutting the inside to flap down.
Okay, you're doing it differently than I would have thought, but go for it. I like what you're thinking. We'll see how it works. It's not what I was thinking, but we'll see how it works.
This is what you said.
Well, I thought cutting it basically like a pizza, one there and one there, and bending those 4 giant flaps down.
No,
Okay.
because it's too much of a curve and it will not go smoothly
Okay.
because I have done something similar to this
Okay.
before.
All right.
And the more little cuts you put into it, the easier it is to bend this stuff down.
Okay.
Now, it would have been good if I lined up the center, but it doesn't matter because you're never going to see
But
it.
it's not calculus with Key and Craig.
No. This is
We've learned that many times. Is it easier at this point to use scissors to finish cutting?
Nah, I'm good.
No? Okay.
I'm good. I won't cut myself, I promise. Except I didn't cut all the way through right there.
You sure you don't want scissors?
Nope.
You just want to keep scratching up my lid.
Yep. You did not say do not cut my lid.
There are certain things in this world that I feel don't really need to be voiced.
You have to be explicit with me. Otherwise, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. All right, so now we're going to bend this guy down and tape it. And so just try much smaller pieces. Much smaller pieces. Much smaller pieces. See, that's why I said much smaller pieces.
No, I am going to power through this. There
Do
you
one
go.
at a time, though.
All right. Like
That's my
that?
hand.
Well, move it.
Yes. All right. So just do much. See, because if you did two big things, it's gonna wrinkle
Okay.
that. So and that's what we didn't want.
Well, do we need to cut it more then?
Maybe.
Here, let's.
It's not gonna hurt it. The more little slits you cut in there to be able to fold them down, the less pressure it's gonna put on your curve. Here, just go ahead. Let me move my finger. And it will make it easier on the bend. Would you like me to do it since I'm holding it?
No,
Might be easier.
I'm good.
You gotta go all the way to that line though.
I did.
You didn't.
All right, well, we've already
Okay.
taped the other one down,
Okay.
so it's.
Yep,
That one's
that
doing what
that.
that one's doing. Bend down a couple more keys.
I can only bend down 2 at a time because that's as many fingers as I got.
Well, but then you're like, my hand.
Well,
Move your hand.
that is my
Move your
hand.
hand. Move your hand. Move your hand. There you go.
You know what we could do? Also,
Cut off your hand.
no.
Tape it on the outside. I think it'll be taped better, more secure on the inside.
Well, you're gonna do both.
That looks pretty good.
It does. That looks
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Is that a
looks
top
pretty
hat?
good. That looks pretty good.
Hello, my lady. Would you care for a dance?
It looks like can you say hobo? It looks like a hobo hat. Like a hobo top hat?
Yes. I think you can still use the word hobo.
I don't know.
I think, because I heard that the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you can still use hobo. Because
Was it in a show from the 70s?
No, they were talking about like hobo art. Like.
Oh, but that's like Hoboken, right?
No, not Hoboken, the city. Hobo art, like artwork that's made out of, reclaimed items and trash, but it's really artistic. And it was a thing called hobo art.
Okay.
Just like how the soldiers in wars would take the used shells and stuff and they would make art out of it.
Okay.
So that would, hang on, this one's not quite far enough.
See, you learned something new with Key and Craig.
See, we might not know how to do math.
But we know hobos.
Well, not personally. My finger is still there.
I don't understand why you're still having finger issues. Don't you know to move your finger?
Well, if you would tape it with just a little bit less tape, let me do it.
All right.
Let me do it. I think the problem is there's too many fingers in the pot.
In the pot hat?
In the pot hat. Oh, see, look at that. No problems.
No, what are those called? Not pot hats.
Top hat. Stove top hat.
Stove top hats.
Like Abraham Lincoln?
Right. Too many fingers on the stove top.
Could you give me smaller pieces, please?
I don't know. Because I'm getting a lot of attitude about my tape lengths.
I'm going to take my stovetop hat and go home. This is my form that made this.
You're ghostly.
My ghostly stovetop. I'm going to go dancing out at the Ghost Ball in Pasadena.
With your...
My non-existent ghost girlfriend.
Aw, Craig.
No, she's a ghost girlfriend.
Oh, okay. You just made everyone sad.
Aww.
Especially your mother.
She knows. She's got grandkids. She's all right.
Oh, not yours, though.
Not
At least
that,
not that you
not
know
that I'm aware
of.
of. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Yeah, these are out of the way. Gotta get these out of the way.
You have an older brother?
Younger brother.
Younger brother. And a sister?
Nope.
No?
Just a brother.
Okay.
Just
See how well I know you.
Yeah, and you've known me for how many years?
Hey, but
Like
you know
20,
what? You've got it
25?
easy because we're only children.
That's true.
So you don't have to remember any siblings or anything.
I don't usually anyway.
Just a father and a mother. Sometimes.
Okay, this has got to, I got to poof it out.
It is getting a little...
It's getting a little wonky here.
It's getting a little hobo-y.
I think what I need to do is go all the way. We're gonna.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Now we're gonna go. Whoosh. Oh my gosh! Look at that! But look, it takes the pressure off.
Okay.
Ha ha!
All right.
Oh, you sounded just like Allison Hannigan and Fool Us right there.
In what?
Just Fool Us, the TV show.
Never heard of it.
You have Penn and Teller. They're magic.
Oh, them.
Oh, them.
I don't like Penn and Teller. Sorry,
Don't
Penn
say
and
that.
Teller.
I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I love your magic. I have your book too.
I
Wait.
half the
too much.
men in
Too
my
much.
life
Cut that, please.
love Penn and Teller or have Penn and Teller's book.
Well, they're just amazing
Books.
magicians.
Or have seen them in concert.
I
Is it concert? I don't guess it would be a concert.
No, it would
What
be a
is it
show.
called? Show.
I have not had a chance to see them.
I've seen them twice. And I still don't
Well, it's
like them.
That's because their particular style is not
It-
kind of off the beaten path,
Well, that's not even it. Here's the thing.
and it's kind of like a carny show.
I don't
That's
like
where they're-
magic.
How dare you!
I am that person. Because to me,
She's got no imagination.
magic, no, what? Imagination has nothing to do with magic.
Yes, it does.
As a matter of fact, it's the opposite.
It's suspension
of
of disbelief.
magic. That's not imagination.
That's it. Show. Yeah, it is.
That's a suspension of disbelief. Imagination is making something out of nothing.
Which
That's
is
imagination.
what magic is.
No.
Let me
magic
make
is-
this coin appear from your hair. Sorry.
Why did you make my hair grow back when you just pulled it out?
I just did. You just didn't know.
No, to me, magic is basically someone telling you you're too stupid to figure out what I just did.
No, they're not telling you that.
They are.
No, they're
By
not.
doing something that you can't figure out how they did it.
Well, of
Is
course
them saying,
they're not.
hee hee.
No, they're smarter than you because they've taken time
But are
and
they-
energy to figure it
Are they
out.
smarter than me, or are
In
they
that-
just good at magic?
Well, yeah, they're smarter than you at magic. They're not necessarily smarter than you, like, with language skills or
I
math
was wondering where you're going to go with that.
or
one.
math. Although they'll
Or
probably
Star Trek.
there you go. Okay, Star Trek. You could probably beat most magicians with Star Trek trivia. I will give you that.
I would like to beat a magician with Star Trek, let me tell you. No, it's one of those things. I have just never been a fan of magic.
You're communist.
I think it's like clowns. There's a lot of people that love clowns. There's some people that don't like clowns. I'm a non-clown, non-magic person.
Wow, you just don't like the performing arts at all, do you?
No, I do lots of performing arts. I do performing arts myself. I'm acting like I like you right now.
Wow.
So the top hat looks good. I think that looks good.
I'm going to act like I care for the next 10 minutes. All right, so we got it, but it's a little bit wonky. It's popping up. It kind of looks like a rain hat. We're
Do we
going to
need to
fix
fix
that. That's what we're going to fix last.
Okay.
Because now I'm going to flip it around this way.
And
I'm going to put
do
it,
it again.
push it down, and I'm going to tape it this way to hopefully take out that rain top kind of like looking hat, because I want to make it as flat as possible.
Gotcha. That's actually looking pretty good though, Craig, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I think that looks pretty good.
I got to get to the back.
And
we'll-
again,
we'll
they're
tape this
ghosts,
up.
so they're kind of, they're not going to be pristine.
They're diaphanous.
There's that word again.
There's that word again.
They're not going to be, they're not going to be pristine. They're dead. Maybe after you die,
Are you disparaging
the rim
them?
of your hat
Gets a little wonky?
gets a little wonky.
Okay.
You have the right at that point to have a wonky hat.
Okay.
If you've lived your life, you've died, you've come back, and you're dancing, you know what? Own that. Own that wonky hat. That actually sounds like a disco song.
Own that wonky hat, white girl.
I don't think you can say that, though.
But you're white and a
Okay.
girl, and so it's not disparaging. Cool.
I think it looks good.
All right, we'll just call this done, and
Yeah.
we'll finish up the last couple pieces, but we'll wrap up this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And next up is what?
Next
We're going to
we'll-
use the mannequin body to make the body, right?
Yes! We're going to use the mannequin body.
Can't wait.
To use, to make our next ghost. Well, you were just saying I would wear that top hat. Maybe you will be wearing that top hat.
Maybe I'll be a ghost by the next.
You will. We are totally wrapping you in plastic and tape to make a ghost. So, yeah, no problem. All right. So, like and subscribe to our videos. We have a whole series of Halloween builds that we've done, and we have a few other fails that we've done. But they're all,
they weren't fails. They were just not quite as successful
As we would have liked.
Or the outcome was not as, what's the word?
professional.
No, we were professional. It just, it
didn't
wasn't
come out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
wasn't as planned.
Yes, and that is something.
That's life, baby.
Yeah, Craig and I are. He used to do this for a living, but I
Well, not make
not
ghost
to
top
go ahead.
hats. That's not what.
But I didn't, and this has all been kind of a learning experience, and it's a fun thing to learn together and on camera, and you can see some of our mistakes and some of our triumphs, and see what works and what doesn't work,
Yeah,
and
'cause
it's just we're having fun.
It's not always perfect.
Yeah,
You're
but
not
we're-
going to have a perfect.
But we're having fun, and our
shot.
mothers love it.
That's all that counts, right?
So like and subscribe. This is all new, so we need as many subscribers and as we can get. So please go to your YouTube channel right now and add Key and Craig's Crazy Crafting Corner to your subscribe list. All right. See you next time.